Hi, I'm Carrie Murphy, and welcome to Spotlight, where we showcase exceptional people and their businesses to help you live a more inspired life. And in a day and age where we're all looking for a little bit more equality and peace, there is one thing that we all have the same amount of, and that is time. And trust me, as a single mom, I know that time is one of those things we're always trying to find more of. But what if I told you you could actually buy time? Well, today I'm here with my friend, an actual Inspired Living team member that has helped revolutionize the way we use and automate our time. And I know you're going to get so much out of this Spotlight interview. Bibi, thank you so much for taking time out to be here today.
Thanks, I'm so happy to be here.
I know that time is something that we all struggle with.
Yes, everybody struggles with time.
So something that most people don't think about is actually like buying time. They're probably going, how do you do that? What is your business? Tell us a little bit about Buying Time.
So Buying Time is a virtual assistant service. We help people with their administrative functions of their business, the things that really don't serve them. If you're a coach or you're an accountant, whatever that is that you do, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be updating your website and putting your blog up or putting out your newsletter or even making customer service responses to your clients.
Right.
Let somebody else that can do those things more efficiently while you do what you're good at.
Right, and that makes so much sense. And I think for most entrepreneurs or people who are starting their businesses, I think time is one of the things, as we see, people struggle with the most. What made you actually come up with this concept, Bibi? What was going on in your life where you felt like you needed more time yourself?
Well, I came from 24 years in the corporate world, and I traveled a lot. And when we had to take my mother's license away, and she couldn't go to the grocery store, she couldn't do any of those things. So I tried to find something that was local that would actually just kind of help her with things like that. You know, take her to the grocery store or even just get the groceries for her. Help her write bills. Taking care of just the things around the house. So that's kind of how it started. The business has evolved to what it is now, but it really came from my own need and the necessity of finding somebody who could just kind of take the edge off a little bit, where I didn't have to run around and take care of these things for the few precious hours that I was home.
Yeah, and I think for so many women, whether you're in corporate or you are running your own business, there are so many hats that we wear. There are so many things that we're doing. Heaven forbid a family member gets ill and now we have another responsibility. And so, Bibi, you really help people kind of systematize and automate some of the things too that they would do to free up some time. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when we first started the business, as I said, it evolved into this virtual world, this idea that we went from physically helping people, running errands and things like that, to now looking at their businesses and how they can be more efficient in their business. And that was one of the hardest things to look at when you're in the business. As somebody who is working in their day-to-day, you don't know that there are systems out there that can do the things that you're doing. There's simple things like, let's just use a simple card sending service where somebody would sit down and write thank you cards or something like that after meeting someone.
Right.
There's systems out there like that you can set up that will automatically do it for you. All you have to do is go in and put in their name, the address, and your message that you want sent to them. So there's a lot of things like that when we look at how we automate, people think that you can delegate only to a person. And that's not necessarily true. There's a lot of things in your business that you can put into systems, find software for. There's an app for everything.
There really is. And I have to tell you that once you really understand this and you realize that really our time is our greatest commodity, our time is what is the most valuable thing. And most people don't think about, virtual assistants or automation. And it really hinders them from showing up really bigger and making more of a conscious impact on the communities that they're around.
One of the things that we have a tendency to do is not treat our time the same way we would treat our money. So we don't look at our time in the same way. If somebody said to you, hey, you can buy these earrings for $20 or you can buy the same earrings for $100, you would buy them for $20.
I'm liking the $20 earrings, right? Yes.
If somebody said to you, you can have this done for you in 20 minutes, or you can spend an hour doing it. What would you do?
Yeah, I'm going for the 20, sister.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where it's looking at, it doesn't have to be you that does that in the 20 minutes. It's get rid of the hour that you're spending and let somebody whose genius it is to do that. And that's where you look at not what it's costing you, but how much is it making you? How much are you looking at what the value of your time is?
Okay, so this is a good, juicy point in the conversation, because when we speak to so many startup entrepreneurs, the first thing they say is, I can't afford help. They're doing everything, running their errands, invoicing, contracts, customer service. You know if I'm talking to you, right? And so they're like, I can't. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what is it costing them not to get the help?
I think that one of the hardest parts of that is that when you look at what really is your time worth, okay? If you are in your first year of business, it's kind of going to be a little difficult to do this exercise. But really take and look at how much revenue did you make? Divide that by the amount of hours that you actually spent working. And remember, what do they say about entrepreneurs? We're the only ones who leave a 40-hour job to take on an 80-hour work week. Yeah. And so it's really kind of making sure, what is that number? Divide that. Figure out what you're actually spending that time on. And then look at what you're really charging for your hour. I mean, we can do something simple, like look at somebody who charges $300 an hour and they're going to hire somebody to do something for $50 an hour. That's a little bit of a no-brainer.
Right.
You're going to make $250 by releasing that hour to somebody else. And I really feel like more and more people don't look at things that way. Look at it in that sense of money. How do you leverage that time? Leveraging is so important when you are starting up a business.
So when you say leverage, what do you mean by that?
Leverage the amount of time that you have. Right now, I mean, you could probably work without sleeping, but it's probably not a good idea.
Probably don't recommend that. Yep, nope.
But it's looking at what is that, how much more can you get out of that? If you hire somebody for 5 hours in a month, can you bill 5 more hours of time for what you're doing so that you're making that revenue? Leveraging that time that says, I've given 5 hours of what I used to do to somebody else, and now I can make money off of that 5 hours.
Right, and that takes that too, like focus on where you're spending your time, because it is easy to delegate or automate and just think, okay, I'm going to go play now, right? But really going in there and saying, with these 5 hours that I've just handed over to someone else, right, I'm going to use that to go speak, to make calls, to, market my business and let people know more about what I do and to do what I do best.
And those are the kinds of things to think about. I started my business 10 years ago. My daughter was 15 years old when I started my business, and I think I should have started it a lot sooner, because at that point she was in high school and really didn't care less if I was around or not. But it's this whole idea now that the freedom that you have in leveraging your time and looking at, because I have to tell myself this a lot.
Sure.
As I go out and speak, and as I talk to more and more people and market my business more, I really do realize that sometimes it's our own, we have to learn our own lessons.
Yes.
and see
quite often, yes.
Right, and see what it is that I'm not doing. And it was even just barely a year ago that I handed off all the financial functions of my business, where I don't do any of my own invoicing. I don't do any of that. I hired a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
I hired somebody to do that. It feels so good at the end of the month to watch money come in, and I didn't have to do anything.
Right? It's still flowing. It's
still
this
flowing.
Beautiful thing.
It's awesome. And so it's learning those things and really realizing how much I can save in my sanity and in giving and serving to my clients in a more fulfilling way.
Yeah.
Now I can be really present for them, and I can be really available to them, because I'm not back here thinking about what else do I need to do.
Yeah, that is such brilliant advice. And I think when we can really do that and show up for people in our best way, and we let go of the things that, we aren't great at, and or we need to do. And I think that as it kills me that such a few amount of women-owned businesses make over 6 figures. And I really think it's because we don't delegate. I think that's a big part of it, is that we're trying to do everything. We try to be she-woman. We try to put on that cape. And people don't even realize, Bibi, that businesses like yours exist. Yes. So tell us more about how people work with you. What do we look for when we're looking for a VA company?
I think that the most important thing to look for is, number one, a VA that can grow with you. Even if you use a single person, so the way that my company is built is that it's a team of us. It's not just a single VA. You have an entire team. I love to tell my clients that your assistant never calls out sick because somebody else is always there to pick up the piece. And so, looking at that and seeing what is it that you really need. We have the ability for clients to use us for as little as 2 hours a month on up to 40 plus hours a month. It really depends. But find somebody that you can grow with. Find that opportunity that allows you to say, right now I only need, an hour every couple of weeks. But as my business grows, I want to be able to give them more. So that's one of the first things that I would look at and consider. The second thing is I would encourage everyone to look at who is someone else using. Social media is a great place to go out there and ask people for recommendations. Who are they using? Who do they talk to? Because that's where you're going to find real information. I always encourage people to look at the work that's done by somebody that is a VA. So if you see something out there, newsletters that come out, things like that come out from a client that you really do like, ask them.
Yeah.
Who do they use? Who's their VA? And the last thing I would just really consider and look at is making sure that you have a communication in place. What is their communication tool? Are they using a project management system? Is text the way they communicate? Is email the way they communicate? Find out how you're communicating with them. There's some great new ways to meet with people now with Zoom.
It's amazing.
I love
Right.
Zoom
Yeah.
because you can see everybody now. You don't necessarily have to not know what the other person looks like. And you can actually talk to them and see their facial expressions and see what's going on. So find out what are they comfortable with, because that's going to be important too. Because if you're a visual person, like I know you are, it's very, very important to know that they're okay being on camera with you and having meetings that way, that you like doing that. And I think that it's important also to make sure that whoever you're working with, whether it's your bookkeeper, whether it's a VA, whatever it is that you're doing, that you have a check-in process. Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Whatever it is, just to talk about how the relationship and the partnership is working.
Oh, so good. And regardless of where you're at in your business, whether you're just starting or you're expanding and growing into that influencer role you see for yourself, finding a good VA, finding a company that can truly support your vision. And I actually really like staying within the US. There's lots of opportunities outside the US, but I like working on like a time frame and a time clock that I can connect with people. And I know I'm supporting people right here at home. So Bibi, I love what you do. And by the way, as someone who is committed to helping you live a more inspired life, everyone that sits in on these spotlight interviews are people that I know and I trust, both personally and with my business. And Bibi, you have been an incredible support as we grow, and I'm so glad our clients get a chance to work with you as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking time out to watch the Spotlight interview. We would love to hear from you. Where are you struggling with time? What is the number one thing that you could give up that allows you to show up more powerfully in your business? Post it below, and don't forget to share this video with other people that you care about, because when you are inspired, you inspire others. Speaking of, want more inspiration? Head over to inspiredliving.tv and join the Inspired Living community. And remember to keep dreaming it, living it, and being it. Until next time.